Yo, what's good guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today, we have our fourth installment in our NBA mock draft series, and this time, we're going to be using a draft lottery. Shout out to fanspo.com, the best place for your mock drafts. Obviously not sponsored, you can see my subscriber count, but, my opinion, they're just the best. Nothing more you can say about that. So, trades in this mock draft, most likely, that depends on if I really like the player for a team who's already there, but most likely there'll be trades in this mock draft. Also because the Grizzlies are sitting at 7, and I don't know how badly they want to keep that pick. But I think let's just get this lottery underway. It's going to determine who our first overall pick most likely will be, because there can be a couple of guys. And right off the bat, Hornets jump up to 1. Spurs jump up to 2. Hawks jump up to 4. I know I skipped the Wizards there, but they only dropped 1. The Pistons drop from 1 to 5. The Blazers drop 1. All these teams drop 1 just because of Atlanta's jump. But we'll use this in the mock draft. Obviously, why would I do it if I can't use it in the mock draft? I think we'll use Fanspo's. I guess you can't see this, but we'll use Fanspo's consensus big board. Haven't used them yet, I don't think. But yeah, honestly, it's probably a little bit better because I think Topic was 7 in the other big board, which I think he's definitely higher than that. But with the first overall pick in the draft, in my opinion, it's right now at least a 3-man race. I guess one could argue 4, but right now my favorites to go at number 1 are Alex Sarr, Nikola Topic, and Cody Williams. Zachary Risache has definitely been a guy who's snuck up to 1 in some mock drafts I've seen. But with the first overall pick to the Hornets, I'm going to give them Alex Sarr. In my opinion, for the Hornets, their two biggest needs are wing depth and and big man depth. And Alex Sarr fits the second one in big man depth. First of all, if we're just going to talk about the player alone, offensively, it's not outstanding. It's not mind-blowing. He has good touch around the rim. He's somewhat physically imposing. 217 at 7'1" is not insane. But he's able to get his shot off over smaller players. And at 7'1", there are going to be smaller players than him defending him in the league. But offensively is not what I'm focusing on here. Defensively, though, him being 7'1", 217, and being 7'1", you're going to have that physically imposing paint defense. Other guards are going to be scared to drive in to the paint when you have a 7'1" freak athlete there. But I'm not even going to be focusing on his interior defense right now. I'm going to focus on his perimeter defense. Able to guard 1 through 5, first of all. His perimeter defense is honestly something I haven't seen from a big man yet since I've been doing these mock drafts. And you might be like, oh, your channel's only been up for, 7 months? Before that, I had another YouTube channel. It was actually my school's YouTube account, or my school's account that they gave us, and then they took the account down a couple years later, so I wasn't able to keep making videos on that. But since 2020 or 21, Alex Sarr is probably the best perimeter defending big man I've seen so far. Better than Wembanyama, I'd definitely say. Not everything else, but perimeter defense alone, yes he is. I think overall Sarr is easily my number 1 overall prospect in this class. Easily is a strong word, but right now he's definitely been my favorite prospect to watch, at least overseas-wise. At 2, we have the Spurs. I think easiest pick in the draft, maybe, with Nikola Topic going 2. Best point guard in this class. Pick and roll between him and Wembanyama should be generational for the next 15 years. It just should be so elite. I don't really know how much more to say. And my opinion, I think Topic can definitely end up being a guy who averages, at one point maybe in his career, the most assists in the league. So that's just my opinions on Topic. I think he is the best point guard in this class so far, right now at least. And it's just a perfect fit to the Spurs at 2. At 3, we have the Wizards. Definitely thinking between Zachary Risache and Cody Williams here. I think if we don't go Risache here and end up going Cody Williams, he might fall past 4 just because of the Hawks' current needs at the moment. But with that being said, I'm still going to have him go at 3. Cody Williams is my more favorite prospect out of him and Zachary Risache. I'll talk about Cody Williams when his pick comes around, but Risache, I think he's a little bit different than these other French players we've seen. Risache can shoot the three pretty well, honestly. Out of the last French prospects we've seen, like Ousmane Dieng, Ryan Rupert off the top of my head, Bilal Koulibaly, he's definitely the best shooter out of all of them. His shot's looking really good. I'm going to be interested to see if it translates to the league. But overall, not my favorite prospects, but I don't hate the fit to the Wizards at 3, especially a team that is in big need for wing depth. At 4, we have the Hawks. This could be a trade out spot, but I don't know how many teams. I guess I'll take a small look. Don't know how many teams are going to be looking to trade up from here. Like the Spurs, I don't think they're in desperate need for Cody Williams. Blazers, maybe a little bit more interesting, but not really. Grizzlies, they're another trade down team in my opinion. The Raptors, I think, are looking for more guard. Bulls, probably not. Blazers could be interesting, though. If they were just wanted to trade up 2 spots to probably snag Cody Williams from this Hawks team who's not really looking to get these younger pieces and wants to definitely build around Trae Young more. Only problem for the Blazers, I guess a player that I could see maybe get added to this deal was Jeremy Grant. But with the forwards that the Hawks have right now, and DeAndre Hunter, Sadiq Bey, AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson, they're not insanely different to what Jeremy Grant brings to the table right now. So that's why I'm a tad bit hesitant on that. I don't think that the Hawks want Brogdon. Maybe as a backup point guard option, but I don't really see it. I don't think the Hawks want Brogdon. I don't imagine them wanting Simons. And the main guy I think they'd want is Shaedon Sharpe. And if I'm a Blazers fan, he is untouchable. So I think we're going to stick and pick here, and we're going to take Cody Williams. Just best player available. Also, I guess the Hawks do need another guard / wing with DeJounte Murray leaving. But this draft pick is just best player available in my opinion. At 5, we have the Pistons. I think they're a team who is not in need of a guard, so I think we're going to go our first big man not our first big man, we had Alex Sarr, but another big man in this mock draft. We're going to give them Kyle Filipowski out of Duke. If it wasn't for Zach Edey, you could make an argument that he's player of the year. There's definitely been some other players, though. R.J. Davis. Who else am I looking at? Not Daron Sharp. Daron Holmes. Don't remember his name. I don't remember his first name, at least. Holmes on Dayton basketball. That's the only guy I can. Deron Holmes. I call him Dayton Holmes. What did I even call him? I don't even remember what I called him. But Deron Holmes out of Dayton. He's been great this season. There's definitely been some more players that are kind of escaping my mind right now. Don't Connect, Kevin McCullough, guys like that. But Filipowski's a great player. And in my opinion, this might be the most perfect fit in this class, right behind Topic to the Spurs. But Isaiah Stewart is definitely not in your long-term plans, in my opinion. And Filipowski, with his expansion on the three-point shot, I think him next to Duren can bring great things to Detroit. And hopefully, them getting maybe more of a proven player in Kyle Filipowski will get them more than 6 wins in a season. At 6, we have the Blazers. I think I'm going to go wing here. I'm going to give them Ron Holland here out of G League Ignite. Him and Buzuelas are kind of in the same boat of not being insanely efficient their first years with Ignite, and their only years, I guess. But the 3-ball has not been amazing. Out of the 2, I think they're probably very similar into where I could see them go in the draft. But out of the 2, I'm definitely going to say Ron Holland's a bit of a better prospect. Just defensively, I'd say his athleticism is probably a little bit better than Matas Buzuelas right now. And just slashing, I think Ron Holland really brings it all, except the 3-point shot. But we know that he's definitely able to build on that when he comes into the league. At 7, we have the Raptors. This is going to be point guard. I was between Rob Dillingham and Isaiah Collier, but when we already have a guy who is not the greatest passer at the point guard position, and Emmanuel Quickley only averaging 2.5 assists this season, I think we're going to have to head with a little bit more of a playmaking-driven point guard here, and Isaiah Collier. Don't let 4.1 assists confuse you. Collier's the second best playmaker in this draft behind Nikola Topic. Before we started this, and Topic was not in my big board, he was the best at playmaking, at least for Isaiah Collier. Also my number 1 point guard until Topic bursted onto the scenes. But they need a playmaking point guard. I think Isaiah Collier is the epitome of that. At 8, we have the Grizzlies. This is going to be a trade out spot. There are a couple prospects who I think probably shouldn't still be here at 8. Uh, Jacoby Walter, Reed Shepard, maybe even. Other guys I'm probably looking at, Matis Buzuelis. Not really sure about that one, but we're going to trade this pick, and I'm going to pick a team who, at least in my opinion, hasn't been too active on draft night trades, or from my recent memory at least. That's going to be the Pelicans. I'm going to give the Pelicans 8, and the Grizzlies are going to get 14. Been trying to think of a player to maybe dump off to the Grizzlies. Can't really think of one right now. I think Trey Murphy. I don't see them getting rid of Trey Murphy. Najee Marshall probably not good enough at this point to get shipped to the Grizzlies, because the Grizzlies are going to want a good proven player. So I guess I'll just throw them 14 and 17 right now. That may be a little bit too rich for the 8th overall pick, but you know what? We'll pull the trigger. 8th overall, we have the Pelicans taking the draft pick. I'm going to give them Rob Dillingham out of Kentucky. Yep. CJ McCollum, how old is he right now? 33 years old? I'm not going to search that one up, but I'm going to say he's 33 years old. They're in need for a new point guard. Dyson Daniels, at this point, I'm not sure how much of a point guard he is. Probably definitely more of a 2. Also a guy who might end up getting traded at the deadline. But I see him definitely more as a 2. And Rob Dillingham just really brings that it factor at the point guard position. Somewhat similar in terms of production to CJ McCollum, but overall they're not that similar in play style. Rob Dillingham, more shifty of a point guard. McCollum also was originally a shooting guard because he played next to Damian Lillard, but Dillingham, more crafty, more shifty. He really just brings a fun factor to your team. I'm happy I was able to get him into the top 10. At 9, we have the Rockets. Their first pick in this mock draft. Not really sure what I'm going to give them here at 9. I could give them a guy like Stephon Castle to get them another guard in that rotation. Castle can really play 1 through 3. UConn's been playing the 2 this year because of Tristan Newton. Could end up giving them a guy like Reed Shepard, who has been a great player at Kentucky, has been one of the best. Jacoby Walter, not so much, I don't think. I think him and Jalen Green kind of would butt heads at the shooting guard position. Matis Buzuelis is definitely an interesting one. I think right here I'm between Jacoby Walter and between Matis Buzuelis and Reed Shepard here at 10 or here at 9. I think I'm going to lean to give them. We're kind of having a bit of a fall of Reed Shepard. In recent mock drafts, he's been high. So just because of that, I might want to give them Reed Shepard. Also, I wouldn't mind maybe a forward to them here, or maybe another center at 9. Donovan Clingan could be interesting. Maybe move Clingan up the board a little bit. So yeah, it's either going to be guard or it's going to be, I guess, shooting guard, or it's going to be center. I'm going to give them, I'm going to give them a center. I'll give them a change of pace guy next to Alperen Sengun. Definitely a little high for Donovan Clingan, at least in my opinion. But it's really just team need right now. And Donovan Clingan was injured at some point in this season, but also has been pretty good for UConn, the number 1 overall team in the country. And with their backup center being Jock Lawndale, I think that he, as a plug-and-play center, would be pretty good for the Houston Rockets. At 10, we have the Blazers. I think this might be a trade spot because right now, at least looking at the guys that I would be looking at to draft, Jacoby Walter, I don't want another guard in the rotation. Matis Buzuelis, I don't think getting both him and Ron Holland would be the smartest idea because there's a chance that none of them, or that either of them, or neither of them pan out. Had to find the right word there. Reed Shepard, just don't really want to get another guard in that rotation. Stephon Castle, not really. Tejan Salon, too raw for me. Ryan Dunn, there you basically have him. And Matisse Thybulle. Kevin McCullough, a little too early for me. So I'm going to trade out of the spot and probably look to trade to a team who's looking for guard or maybe even just great player in Reed Shepard. Let's have we'll have the Blazers trade down to the Heat. Would be interesting. For sure the Heat would be interesting. The Grizzlies, I guess I had them trade down, I had them trade down to 14. Not so sure. The Thunder, I think they might be a trade candidate at 12 as well. The Magic, maybe. I mean, a lot of guards there as well. The Raptors, we gave them Collier already. The Suns are definitely not a trade-up team. The Heat are usually not a trade-up team, but maybe with the prospect that they love here. Did I trade the picks? Yes, I did. The prospects that they love here and Reed Shepherd will be enough for them to trade up at 10. You don't know. I'm not going to do the trade. I know I just spoke a whole lot of that for nothing. But I don't really see the Heat trading up. They're not the type of team to trade up. I'm going to give the Blazers here. Definitely hard, but I'm going to give them Reed Shepherd. I know it's another guard. I know Shepherd's only 6'3", but Reed Shepherd's 54 from the field, 55 from 3, 83 from the line? Might be even better than that. I'm pretty sure it actually is better than 83 from the line. Reed Shepherd's stats. He is putting up, like I said before, 54 from the field, 55 from 3, and 82 from the line. So actually a little bit worse than what I said before. But yes, I know the Blazers do need more guard, or not. They don't need more guard depth, but Shepherd will probably command minutes right away from that team. Probably does not start right away. Honestly, probably definitely doesn't. But as a backup point guard option or backup shooting guard option, wherever we think he's best fitted, I think he'll be great in the role. And he's been an amazing riser so far in this class. At 11, we have the Bulls. I'm going to give them their immediate go-to guy, I guess I'll say. I think LaVine's probably going to be gone by next year. DeRozan, we'll see. At center, we have Vucevic, we'll see. But I'm going to give them Jacoby Walter here out of Baylor, a guy I've had drop a little bit in this class. But with the most likely departure of LaVine, I think Walter is just an immediate guy who will demand the ball and probably look for his at first, but along the way, just like Keontae George, he'll have to turn into more of a playmaker, especially if he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. George, one of the best playmakers so far in this last draft class. But at 12, we have the Thunder, and Matas Buzelis still on the board, and they have back-to-back picks. I think it would be extremely stupid for them not to bank on the potential of Matas Buzelis here at 12. The fact that he's still on the board by itself, pretty crazy. But at some point for the Thunder, you have to realize you're one of the best teams in the league. It will not hurt you to pick a guy who could turn into an all-star level player with Matas Buzelis. So if he turns into a great player, and the Thunder end up having him, Shea, J-Dub, Chet, I'm going to exclude Giddey from this list. But that would be an insane, not even trio, quadruple? That's not even the right word, but that would be an insane team. At 13, we have the Thunder, and like I said earlier, I could imagine this being a trade-out spot, but there's still a guy I would not mind to give them here at 13. Right now, I'm probably between Stephon Castle and Ryan Dunn. The reason I'm looking at Castle is because, first of all, their center probably needs to be addressed too, so I probably could end up seeing a Yves Missi, maybe even a Kel'el Ware. You know, Kel'el Ware is kind of sticking out to me. Originally, I probably was going to give them Stephon Castle here at 11, but I could see a little bit of a drop from him. So yeah, I'm kind of between Kel'el Ware here, or I guess where's even Zach Edey? I don't think Zach Edey goes this high, but maybe an option as well. Kind of between Kel'el Ware and Stephon Castle. I'm pretty sure that you can make your own scouting reports here as well. Yeah, if I just scroll down a little bit, people have their own scouting reports. Looks like no one's too high on Stephon Castle, but okay, I guess it's getting a little bit higher down here. But Castle's a great play, and DJ Wagner should not be as high as 22. I know I just saw that and just spat that out randomly, but I had to notice it. So I think this is between Castle and Ware. Guess I'm taking a little bit time on this one. You know what? I might give them Kel'el Ware here. Or I could look to trade the pick. I mean, there's a lot of options for them here at 13. You know what? No. I'm going to keep the pick at 13. I'm going to give them Kel'el Ware out of Indiana. Him and Cody Williams have been my favorite collegiate players to watch this year. How many times have I said that this video? I'm not sure. But Cody Williams for sure. Filipowski's cool, I guess. I guess Donovan Clingan just because I'm a UConn fan. Rob Dillingham has been amazing this season. So has Reed Shepard. I guess I'm saying that I'm saying that a lot, but I'm going to be for real here. Kalel Ware with Cody Williams has been my favorite players to watch this season. I think it just gives them an immediate lob threat at the center. Yes, Chet does bring that, but I think defensively, Kalel Ware is not as advanced as Chet. So maybe they could have a good little tandem there with Ware and Chet at the center position. I could definitely see that going forward in the future. Maybe they want to get more of a big guy, like maybe Yves Missi or maybe even Zach Edey, but too early for him. At 14, we have the Grizzlies. This could probably be another trade down spot. I know I already had them trade down, but I don't know how much the value is here at 14. With the Heat at 15, actually, maybe they don't trade down and maybe they look to take more of a proven player, like Kevin McCullough or Dalton Knecht here. So yeah, honestly, I might not trade down out of the spot. I'm going to give them. Looking at this team right now, I think the better fit would be Kevin McCullough here, out of Kansas, being the last pick in my lottery as well. McCullough has just been nothing short than amazing for Kansas this season. Definitely player of the year watch. If it wasn't for Edey, there's a chance he would get it, but Zach Edey exists, and that kind of just takes everything out of that realm of possibility. At 15, we have the Heat. Like other teams, could be a trade-out spot. They probably don't end up in 15 because we know how the Heat do in the playoffs. They probably end up somewhere in the 20s. But maybe there's a team who's looking to snag Stephon Castle, maybe some other players on the board I did not mention. Maybe Tajon Salam, maybe they want to bank on his potential. Other than that, I guess that's kind of where the tier ends. Maybe Ryan Dunn as well if they want that defense, which the Heat could potentially want as well. But maybe the Knicks, if they want to get another guard in that rotation. Raptors, probably not. Suns, not a team that would trade up. But definitely in this 16 to 19 range, the Magic most likely don't trade up. The Grizzlies, yeah, they won't trade up. The Knicks, it'll be interesting. I think I'm going to end up sticking and picking here at 15. I don't know. I think no. You know what? I'm gonna mock a trade up here. No, I'm gonna stick and pick, just because. I'll tell you guys the reason as we get on with this mock draft. But at 11, I'm gonna have the Heat taking between Castle and Ryan Dunn here. I'm gonna give them Stephon Castle out of UConn. You know what? No, I'm gonna give them Ryan Dunn here. It's really just a Heat type of player. Ryan Dunn is averaging 2.5 blocks. I'll look at his stats actually. If he had a 3-point jump shot, this is not Ryan Dunn. Ryan Dunn might actually be a top 5 projected pick, but just because of that 3-point shot is 100% not there, can't really give it to him. Right now, Dunn is averaging 10, 7, and 1 assist, but defensively is definitely where he brings that energy. If I can look at his stats real quick. He, right now, is averaging 10 points, 2.5 or 2.3 blocks. I'll round it up, say 2.5, and 2 steals. Defensively, he's a menace. And I think he fits Heat culture perfectly. I combine the words culture and picture. That's not a great sign. But he fits Heat culture perfectly. Maybe it's a little bit of a tongue twister. Got to give myself some credit on that one. Not too sure, though. Ryan Dunn, though, he'll be great for the Miami Heat. At 16, for the Magic, like I was going to say earlier, I'm going to give them Dalton Knecht. Reason I was refraining from a trade down is because if the Heat were to trade down, I would not see them trading down. I don't think I don't think the Magic would look to trade up one spot. And if they trade down anything past 16, they'd probably get their guy taken in Ryan Dunn. So that's why I'm going to give them Dalton Knecht here at 16. And at 17, we have the Grizzlies. Once again, couple of guys still available on this board. Tajon Salam still available at the 12th or at the 17th overall pick, the farthest I've ever had him drop, I think. I could see this be, I could see this be Stephon Castle, but I probably could see the Grizzlies keep trading down in this situation. I think a team is going to look to take the potential into Jean Salon, maybe a little bit down the board. Um, honestly, I could just see him keep falling. But maybe the Timberwolves want to bank on that. Maybe probably not the Nuggets, not the Bucks. Thunder already took their potential guy in Matis Bezuelas. The Cavs, possibly. I wouldn't be too opposed of seeing a Cavs trade up here to 17. 76ers, maybe, if they want to continue building through that future. You know what? I'm going to say the 76ers trade up here to 17 to take Tejan Salon. You know what? No, I'm going to stop doing these. I'm going to refrain on these trade-ups for right now. I'm going to stick and pick. I know I've kind of done a pump fake the last couple of times. But with the 17th overall pick, I'm going to have the Grizzlies taking... I'm going to give them to John Salon. Is that crazy? Did the Grizzlies really not need that pick? I'm gonna do it. High potential guy. Last time I think I still gave him to John Salon at the 6th overall pick, so I guess he still ends up with them at 17. I guess I am taking two similarly built players and Kevin McCullough and Tejan Salon for the Grizzlies, but it's definitely not a secret that the Grizzlies need more height at the front court positions, at least more depth there. At 18, the Knicks, living in New York, I guess I should be a Knicks fan. This would probably be pretty crazy if Stephon Castle fell to them. I also think they're in dire need of more center. If they're able to trade out or if they're able to possibly get rid of Mitchell Robinson this offseason. I know that probably seems kind of crazy, but Hartenstein's been able to do pretty good for the Knicks, and Mitchell Robinson's been sort of injury prone, so maybe we can see a trade out. But I'm not going to go center. I'm going to give them point guard here, or shooting guard, or small forward. However you want Stephon Castle, or whatever you want Stephon Castle to be, he can be that. 6'6", 215. Just looking at him, he is a pretty thickly built player. And I think it's a perfect fit to the Knicks here at 18, who maybe don't 100% need more guard depth, but their wing depth is not amazing. It's just OG Anunoby. They tried to fix that somewhat at the trade deadline, and Josh Hart. So getting a high potential guy in Stephon Castle at 18 would be huge for them. At 19, we have the Raptors. We kind of escaped the second/third tier of players. I think the last guy being Stephon Castle definitely is the second tier of players. The first tier of players, I'd say, goes up to Rob Dillingham at 8. Then we have the second tier players. Shepard and Jacoby Walter are probably part of that first tier as well. Then maybe even Bezuelas as well. But the second tier of players probably ends with Castle. And now we're probably looking at the third tier of players here. For the Raptors at 19. I think I'm probably going to go forward here after giving them, maybe even center actually. You know what? I'm going to give them center here at 19. It's going to be between Yves Missi and Zach Edey most likely. I'm going to give them Yves Missi out of Baylor. Lob threats, like I've mentioned before, a lob threat will always have a spot in the league. And especially an aggressive one like Yves Missi, who's also been pretty good on defense so far this year. I think it'll be a great fit to possibly replace Jakob Poeltl for the Toronto Raptors at 19. At 20, we have the Suns. Probably going to look to give them either big depth. Eubanks hasn't been terrible this season. Maybe more wing depth. They're really just looking for depth. I think this is the best player available situation for the Suns at, what pick is this? At 20. Tyler Smith is interesting. Bobby Klitman is interesting. Maybe his high potential will entice them. But I'm going to give them Tyler Smith. I think he's a guy that can definitely contribute to that team right away. I think he can possibly play some small ball center at times. But overall, he's a pretty good shooter. Defensively, he's aggressive, he's active, he's a good defender as well. And overall, I think he's just a great player, or a good player. At 6'10", 218, he brings you everything that you want from a player like him to bring. At 21, we have the Hawks. I gave them Cody Williams with the 4th overall pick. I think I'm going to give them Bobby Klintman right here for the 21st overall pick. I mean, this is really just because of his potential. Not really any other reason. Played at Wake Forest last season. Didn't work out 100%. I think if he declared last season, he would have ended up being a first overall pick or first round pick. But now in overseas, I don't exactly know where he's playing. Let's see where Bobby Klintman or Bobby Klintman. I don't even know how to. Sweden. I think he's originally from Sweden as well, or maybe his lineage. So I guess that's interesting. But Klintman, 21 to the Hawks. It's really just potential based. I think there are definitely better players in this draft class, but potentially better than Bobby Klintman, at least the guys who are left on the board. I'm not so sure about it. At 22, we have the 76ers. Guard, possibly. Backup guard, maybe another wing to get in there. They're kind of aging down there with, I guess really it's just Nick Batum and Robert Covington. So definitely could look at a couple stuff for them. I think I might lean big man, just to give Joel Embiid a true backup. I think Paul Reed is not really a center. I think I definitely have more as a power forward, even though he's been playing really good this season. Yeah, definitely a couple guys I could see go here at 22. But I think I'm going to end up giving them Ethan Almanza out of the G League Ignite. Almanza will most likely just end up backing up Embiid for his first year. Maybe he doesn't even get playing time. I'm not sure. Another high potential guy for sure with Ethan Almanza. And the Suns are in pretty big need for backup big position. At 22 or at 23, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. Probably best player available, especially when we're getting late into the first round. It comes a best player available type draft. So I could see Bub Carrington, DJ Wagner, probably not as much as Carrington. Jared McCain is interesting. Tyrese Proctor, another interesting guy to pick. Justin Edwards, no, not much I could say about that one. Aaron Bradshaw, I don't really know how much they need center depth right now. I guess they could definitely use it. It's not amazing. Tristan Thompson is he going to be out of the league? From that suspension, does he really come back and play for an NBA team? Is he really returning to the Cavs? I'm not so sure. So you know what? With the potential, this pick's going to be Zach Edey. With the potential insecurity of guys like Jared Allen / Evan Mobley, but definitely more Jared Allen, I could see them take another center. Jared Allen, I mean, unless he's going to take like $5 to $10 million a year from the Cavs, and maybe even with the money inflation the league contracts have seen lately, it'll be more than that. But I don't know if Jared Allen is going to be 100% willing to take less of a deal from the Cavs, because they're going to pay Darius Garland most likely. Donovan Mitchell as well, even though he's been in some trade rumors, I think they will keep him and pay him. Mobley, I think, is their future big man. But if things don't work out, I think Zach Edey is a pretty good replacement for Jared Allen. And if you don't want to call it replacement, just call it a backup center. At 24, I'm going to go another center here. I'm going to give them Adem Bona out of, actually, maybe Bona. I don't know where Big Z is. I was going to talk about him for a little bit, but I don't really see him here. Aaron Bradshaw, nah. PJ Hall, possibly. Looking at some of the, obviously, another guy who's not a freshman having a great season in college basketball, but 6th overall. That'd be pretty crazy. I don't know why he's so high. 21 is more like it. 32 is also more like it. He's a great defender, and he's a great shooter. I think overall he's a great player. But I'm not sure if I like him right now over Adem Bona, who is the guy I think I'm going to give the Knicks here at, what pick is this? 24. Bona is physically imposing. He's 6'9", yes, but I've been mentioning this kind of change of pace in terms of center play recently, and Adem Bona kind of fits that when we think of what Isaiah Hartenstein brings versus what he brings. Could give the Knicks a different identity in the backup center availability, I guess. I don't really know the right word for that, but it could give them a different playstyle / identity for them in the second unit, I guess. That's the best way I could word it. At 25, we have the Thunder again. Don't know how badly a team is going to want to trade up for one of these guards, whether it's DJ Wagner, Tyrese Proctor, Bub Carrington. I think it's going to come soon, but I don't know if it comes right now. You know, the Thunder I might give them. I think the best guard out of all these guys, at least in terms of a draft prospect, is Tyrese Proctor. Do they really need Tyrese Proctor? Maybe not, but Josh Giddey could be in jail in a couple of years. So maybe you want some more guard security in Tyrese Proctor. I guess that's the best reasoning I have for that pick. But realistically, they probably do need a little bit more guard depth, maybe more so wing. But Proctor's 6'5". He might be able to fill that depth spot as well. At 26 pick, I believe it is. We have the Toronto Raptors. We have them go Yves Missi. We have them go Isaiah Collier. Point guard, center. We kind of just split the difference and give them a wing here. I'm kind of willing to do that. Also, Iguodaro. He's not a wing, but I was just someone I was looking at. Deron Holmes, guy I forgot his name before. Maybe even Melvin Ijinsa. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's been rising up some draft boards recently. Maybe even Bronny James. Who knows if they want to attract LeBron James. But yeah, there are definitely a couple guys that they can go here. Honestly, I don't know if some people might call this a surprise. I'm not 100% sure what people would call it, but I'm going to give them Alex Karaban out of UConn. Is this a biased pick? I'm going to say no. Karaban's had a great season so far for UConn. He's a shooter. Probably when he gets to the league, he'll be a shooter. And for a team like the Raptors, who might be going a little bit through a rebuild phase, getting a more secure guy in Alex Karaban who could shoot that thing just gives them more security. But at 27, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. Another team I not 100% know where they should go. I guess it has to be best player available at this point. I think I'm going to give them another center, though. Brook Lopez is old, and we could give them Aaron Bradshaw. PJ Hall, he kind of seems like more of a Bucks player to me. Maybe even a Damar if people want to push him up into the first round, which, no, but you never know. I'm giving the PJ Hall out of Clemson. Great collegiate player. We'll see if it translates to the league. I think it will translate enough for him to be a career backup center. At 28, we have the Nuggets. Shooting, I guess. I mean, do we want to surround Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray with players who can't shoot? No, that makes no sense. So we're going to give them more shooting. Jared McCain. He's kind of the guy who sticks out to me right now. I guess they have someone who's similar in Julian Strawther in terms of what he's probably going to bring to the table. But I'm not mad at getting another shooter in there. They shouldn't be mad either. Trey Alexander's also interesting. Player that I want to get into the first round for the future. Not sure if he gets there in this mock draft. Scrolling down, not too much people that excite me. I'm going to give them Jared McCain here out of Duke. He's a shooter. I mean, I've just been mentioning it the whole time how I'd like to see them get more shooters. There you go, Jared McCain. At 29, we have the Timberwolves. Guard, probably. Not probably. We're definitely going to go guard here at 29. Point guard, I think, because Mike Conley, getting pretty old. McLaughlin, not your future. Dashie Nix, he's actually a terrible NBA player. I mean, if you look at the stats, you'll see it, but he's not a good NBA player at all. Will Bronny James be crazy here for a Timberwolves team who's trying to compete in the near future? I mean, they're competing right now, but you draft Bronny and get LeBron? Interesting. You know what? Just because of that, I might just give them Bronny James here at 29. Also, the Celtics are livid because I know they would take Bronny James right away if he was available at 30 just because they can get that LeBron factor. But I'm sure people have done scouting reports on Bronny. 45. I guess there's only one. Did not expect that. But I think I'm going to go point guard here. Bub Carrington, definitely higher than DJ Wagner. But I'm saying but a lot. This is gonna be Bronny. You get Bronny, you get LeBron. You know what? No, I'm not doing it based off of that. What am I talking about? I'm giving them guard. I'm gonna give them Kylan Boswell here out of Arizona. I think he'll be a great replacement for Mike Conley when the time comes. Boswell. I don't know why I just stuttered on his name. Future for the Timberwolves at the point guard position, I'm not 100% sure because I think at some point they might consider moving Anthony Edwards to that full-time point guard position, or at least the main ball handler, just because of how their teams ran right now, and maybe getting some shooters around him at the 2/3 position. McDaniels has not been amazing this season, but maybe at the shooting guard position we can find them another great shooter. But backup point guard wise, I think Kylan Boswell can be one of the best in the league at the backup point guard position. Now at 30, I think I already said this, but I'm going to give them Bronny James. Just because you get Bronny, you get LeBron. So there's my mock drafts. Definitely more diverse than the last one. There was only one trade, so I probably wanted to fit more than one. But I had them go right. So where's the Grizzlies? I'm just kind of surprised why, or confused why it doesn't show the trade details underneath the Grizzlies, but only underneath the Pelicans. But yeah, there's my mock drafts. I like it. Some guys who have probably a little bit high. Kyle Filipowski, slightly. Klingon maybe a little bit. Other than that, I guess Salon maybe dropped a little bit. So did Stephon Castle. But other than that, I think this is a pretty good mock draft. I'm glad to get my guy Alex Caravan in there out of UConn. Also didn't mention his size, 6'9". Like he can play the power forward position for sure in the league. But yes, thanks for watching this mock draft, and make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I guess that's sort of a 2024 goal, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Honestly, I think you can grow past that, but 1,000 is kind of a cool benchmark. I know we're only at like 125 right now, so it seems a long way away, but you never know. Trying to grow the channel. Thanks for watching this video, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Peace.